Oh, damn. Wow. Okay, I did not see that coming. This movie left me in an absolute puddle. And I'm not 100% sure it should have gotten that reaction out of me, but it did. I don't know if it's like more of like because of all of the emotions I've been feeling lately. Like if you've been paying attention to my channel, we went through a little bit of a change over the weekend. And that's been raising feelings in me. Plus, I'm a fairly new dad, so maybe that played into it. Not that that really has anything to do with the plot of this movie, but I'm just saying this movie probably going to end up in my top 10 of 2021. The Unforgivable is a new Netflix movie starring Sandra Bullock as Ruth Slater, a convicted felon who has just served 20 years in prison for murder, and at the very start of the movie, she's getting released. The movie focuses a lot on her readjusting to society and trying to fit into any sort of social situation she can after having most of the ability to do so stripped away from her. Yeah, I imagine 20 years in prison after murdering somebody might do that to you. It's also about her trying her absolute hardest to reconnect with her little sister, who was only 5 years old when she went to jail. The little sister was 5 years old. Ruth was much older. There's a gap in the siblings. The movie has a lot of moving parts, but it's never overwhelming, and it's filled with these characters that are fleshed out and real. Almost every character was written extremely well, and there is a lot of moral gray area when it comes to certain events that happened in the past and what's happening in the present. I say almost every character because there is one who's set up as a fairly sympathetic character at the beginning and very quickly transitions into the film's villain. I found that to be a little jarring, but the situation's very stressful, so I mean, anything could happen. The movie does sort of present the story as a little bit of a mystery that it wants to slowly unravel and reveal to you. And while I'm sure there are plenty of people out there smarter than me that will see all of the stuff coming, and I've seen my fair share of movies, so I probably should have seen it all coming as well, I remain happy in my ignorance and really enjoyed the plot as it slowly revealed itself. Sandra Bullock is going for another Oscar here as Ruth, and I thought she did an incredible job. I will say that I enjoyed the performance here better than her performance in Blind Side. The Blind Side? See, that's how much of an impact that movie left on me. She gets to flex some incredible performance power on numerous occasions, and while we know that she did in fact do what she was convicted of, we still sympathize with her. Like, there is zero moral ambiguity here. She killed the guy, she admits it, she owns it, and she's trying to move on with her life. I can't imagine that's a very easy thing to do. Murderer. We shouldn't like her, but we do. We sympathize with her. And as everything comes to a head in a conclusion that is filled with moments of fleeting predictability, I was brought to tears. Not gonna lie. There's just something so heartwarming about the flashback scenes in the movie where it establishes her relationship with her little sister. And when you really step back and look at everything from like a wide perspective and take it all in, it all just seemed like, yeah, these are damaged people and every single one of them is just doing what they think is best. And as good as Sandra Bullock's performance was, there is great performances throughout the movie. The one actress playing the wife of the homestead, she gets this one scene to really shine, and she's on screen with Sandra Bullock. That was a great scene. And there's this one that really stands out. I gotta talk about this one scene. It's not really a spoiler, but in the movie, Ruth finally gets to have a sit down with the adoptive parents of her little sister to try to plead her case on why she wants to see her again. And it starts out everybody's trying to be on their best behavior, but it ultimately devolves into this scene where Sandra Bullock is just verbally berating these two because her emotions get the better of her. And while the father has the most predictable reaction where he immediately goes on the defense and starts calling her a murderer and not understanding why she would want this, it's the performance from the woman playing the mom in this scene. When you watch her closely, she barely does anything in the scene. She barely says anything in the scene. It's all in her expression and the way she delivers that towards Ruth as she's saying what she's saying. You can tell just from her look that she understands. This woman is bashing her and insulting her and calling her names, but she knows that it's coming from a place of love, and it's an incredibly subtle performance with what I found to be hugely impactful meaning. Meaning, it was a damn good scene. And that performance was so low key, but did such a good job at driving home real emotion. Awesome. Now, the movie's set in Seattle, which means it was probably filmed in Vancouver, and had a very similar vibe to a movie called North Country with Charlize Theron. Nothing at all alike in story, but the way the movie is filmed and all of these scenes in like the industrial workplace, it ends up sort of feeling like The Unforgivable is a movie based on a true story. It's not. It is based on a television series, apparently, which I can't draw any comparisons to because I was not aware of. So I haven't seen it, so I can't draw any comparisons. You know what I mean. Now, I briefly mentioned it before with one character being with his choices. There is another that falls into the same category where when it comes to the writing of these characters, they end up feeling a little bit rushed and make questionable choices. Not questionable morally, questionable storytelling-wise. Like there's this one character that John Berthenau plays. So, I mean, we're going to take him because it's John Berthenau. He's always entertaining to watch. But his character, I feel like you could have removed him from the story completely and nothing would have changed. He was just there to further make Ruth feel about this big about her actions. That's what I took away from that character. I was going back and forth about how I was going to rate this movie as I was watching it, which I should not do, and I should just think about it all when the movie's over. But I couldn't help myself. By about the halfway point in this movie, I knew the score was going to be up there, but then the final scene in the movie happened, and it's like, I'm not even talking about the whole scene, like the last 30 seconds, right before we go to credits, it was so well done, and it's a scene that doesn't overstay its welcome, which I feel so many other movies would have done, and I was an emotional wreck. So, the filmmakers and the actors brought all the feels. I don't have a choice. I gotta give The Unforgivable a 10 out of 10. This is a story filled with heart and heartbreak, and the performances are outstanding. I personally think it is definitely worth checking out, but I also think it won't be for everybody, and I might be overhyping it. Take that for what you will. So what about you guys? Have you seen The Unforgivable yet? If you have, let me know what you thought about it in the comments below, and I will see you all in the next one.